y'all? It's your boy Koolestnerdever. We back with another interview. I got my boy Cash today. Yes, sir. This guy is an amazing entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur in Atlanta. Huge activist out here in the streets. He was actually a felon at 18 years old. He was a millionaire by 20, but he lost it all by 22. So we got a story that we got to share with you guys, and I wanted you to hear it, and I wanted you to hear it first from my man, because when I heard it, I was blown away, so I know you're going to be blown away. So make sure you stay tuned, listen to everything my man got to say. He's going to tell you how he was able to have one of the hottest restaurants in Atlanta, Georgia. My man Cash, appreciate you coming out today.
Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you.
No problem, man. So look, we're about to get to it, man. I appreciate you getting on this interview with me today. There's a lot of people that probably hit you up, but you chose me. Thank you. All right, so your entrepreneurship, right? As we were saying, like a lot of times people don't show the back end, don't show the adversity, don't show the turmoil. But entrepreneurs who are watching this right now, when they're going through that phase that you went through, like the struggle, you got anything to kind of say to them to help them get past that?
So even though I gotta tell you, when the recession happened with me and a lot of other entrepreneurs that was doing real estate, that had businesses, that had other ventures they was doing, probably had money in stocks or money in whatever, a lot of people actually, some of the people that I knew, they moved, some of the people stopped, some of the people started all over. But for me, the main key that kept me going was where I came from. You know, I came from nothing. So my struggle was like, yo, if I had it once, I'm gonna get it back again. So even though I was crying in the room by myself, trying to figure out like, damn, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go from making $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 a month to try to go get a job or figure it out wherever I'm gonna start at. It was embarrassing for me. And if I was like a person that was discouraged by my failure, I would never be here. So as an entrepreneur, once you make it to the top one time and you fall back down, you should be able to pick yourself back up.
Because you know what it took. You know what you did to get there the first time.
I was a felon. They say I couldn't get a job. I had to go get a job on the back end. You know, they say I can't make the money. I did real estate. I didn't have a real estate agent license. I was an appraiser. I wasn't one of these guys. Oh, you do real estate? Oh, so what do you do? You're appraiser? No, I'm an investor. So I turned myself from being a felon to a boss.
I used to hear around the neighborhood, it said, would you rather have had and lost than to not have it all? Because the person that doesn't never had it at all doesn't desire it. But if you had it and you lost it, now you can be stressed out knowing that you were once there. You know, another thing while you're saying that, another thing I learned around that time when I was going through struggle, I started reading a little bit, right? Because you know, I'm not a reader. I have people that I listen to. I'm more like a person talker. You know, I rather listen to advice. But when I started trying to figure it out, I read a book and it was a quote. It stuck with me. It said, "Tough times don't last, and tough people do." Say it again. No, you gotta say it to them.
Tough times don't last, but tough people do. I had a couple of haters around me. They told me this. I had one of my friends. I'm not gonna say his name, but you know, he said, "Cash, you didn't have your shot. You ain't gonna get it back again." You know what I told him? I looked at him. I said, "Bro, watch me do this again." And he watching me. Listen, to all the new entrepreneurs, right? This is what I'm gonna say to you, because a lot of people hit me on my DM and Instagram like, "Yo, I need to start a business. I need to do this. I need to do that." I'm tired of hearing y'all saying I need to. Just do it. Start somewhere, man. Start. And I promise you, if you start somewhere and you say, "Yo, I got a business and I need help," I will help you. I'm going through something. Can you help me? I'm gonna do it. Don't sit there and ask me how. Start somewhere. Once you start, you got people like me that I'm gonna be right there. So if you got some people that you think that need a shot, I'm willing to help them. Whether you want to start a restaurant, whether you want to start a car rental company, whether you want to start a trucking company, whether you want to start an event space, whether you want to get into any business, if you're not sure what you want to do, if you have an idea, start somewhere. Go get an LLC. Go start your LLC on company, Secretary of State. Make sure you have some type of business plan. And from there, if you need some help, I will coach you myself. Right here, I said it right now. I'm gonna do that.
That you have to be okay with the ugly stage, right? You have to be okay with it not being perfect, right? A lot of people suffer from analysis paralysis, where they sit back and they never get started because they keep trying to perfect their $1 million idea.
There's no such thing as perfection, man. Perfection comes from consistency and failure. I am not perfect to this day. I'm not perfect. I'm getting there. It's not gonna be perfect, but you gotta start. I made more mistakes than anybody I know. I lost more money to be here today than any of you guys. I know some of you guys, I know a lot of people, y'all tucking your money. That little money y'all got, y'all tucking it. I'd rather invest than be stressed.
That's a bar. Cosign, that's a bar. I'd rather invest than to be stressed.
It's gonna take time. I'm not saying you're gonna be rich overnight. It took me a long time. I've been here since 2004. Do the math, it's a long time. But I'm here and I ain't going nowhere.
I'm looking at the outside on the back of the patio, and we gotta show some footage of the actual restaurant, man.
Of course.
The food was amazing.
Thank you.
Right? I had the fried chicken.
We had the fried chicken.
Yeah. The food was amazing. The mac and cheese was amazing. So you told me, so you said, yo, we don't have cooks.
Nah, we have chefs. You can't spend $1 million in investment and have cooks. You can't do that. Stop doing half-ass. You know what I'm saying? Stop it. When you invest in money, invest in your people, invest in your team, invest in the systems. Invest in systems. For me to have 5 businesses, 6 businesses, I'm working on the 6th one, I have a system, I have a team. I did it by myself for a long time, I made a lot of mistakes. But right now, team effort is the most important thing that we're doing.
But with the team, you got somebody that when you fall in a push you up.
Let's go. We gotta
push you up. Let's go.
Yeah.
And with the systems, man, just in case you don't know the acronym of systems is just the acronym for saving yourself time, energy, and money,
yes,
right? So when you have those systems and you're able to delegate those tasks to somebody who may be better than you in a particular skill set,
yes, sir.
you have to be wise enough to know that, listen, I'm not the best at maybe organization, but my homie is, my homegirl is. Let me put them on, because I'm cool with getting 20% of $1 million versus 100% of 100,000.
That right there, that was I was diagnosed with the illness. And I wanted everything for myself, because I've lost a lot.
You said you were diagnosed with what?
With this illness right here, that I could do everything by myself. That's the problem. It's the issue. The minute that I realized there's no way I'm gonna have 5 businesses and I'm gonna be able to be here, there, I can't do it. What I started doing is I started finding people that's great at what they do. If you got a person that's great at marketing, give them the job. You can't give a person who drives to cook in the kitchen. It's not happening. You gotta be able to give people what they're great at, give them a position and assign to them, and don't be thinking you know what they're doing, because you thinking you can't do their job. Let them do their job. Spice House is one of the best restaurants that I have because of the system in place and the team actually in place. You see, you got chefs in the back. You got the host when you come in, they will welcome you. You got the team that's making sure you have a problem. Manager coming to take care of you. When it's too swamped, I'm helping. Sometimes when I see something going on, I'm helping. So as long as my job is here to take care of the people. If it's a problem, this is what I'm here for. My job is to make sure overwatch everything. My job is not to work in there as a cook. My job is not to be a manager in the back bar. It's not my job. My job is to make sure that I overlook everything.
So what I just peeped through everything that you just said as being a marketer, my job is to analyze people, businesses, right?
That you're good at. That's your job.
So
I gotta give you my marketing job. You my new marketing guy.
Hey, let's do it. So I didn't actually cut it. I didn't win in a deal right now.
Yeah, you cut a deal.
Can you afford me though?
I got you, baby. Come on, you see what you said now?
Yeah. So look, this is what I was able to take from everything that you just said. You basically just explained a formula that I tell my clients all the time. This is a 3-step formula that I tell them. It's focused on automation, systems, delegation, your team, and then elimination. The elimination is eliminating the distractions that aren't giving you any type of progression to where you're trying to get to.
That's right.
All right. So with the multiple businesses, you're also real heavy in the car game.
Yeah, actually, so after real estate crashed, I jumped in the hair business, the hair distribution company, which was kind of weird, because remember I said I had to damn near cry, and they said, now I figured out how I'm going to start making this money. So the best thing that was presented to me, while I was doing real estate, I met a guy in a plane headed to Dubai. I went to Dubai in 2009.
Okay.
So I met a guy in first class, and he was Indian, and he actually told me, yo, I got a hair distribution company from India to America and LA. So I'm like, you know what? I don't know what the hell is it here. I don't know nothing about it. I know real estate. But long story short, a year from then, I actually kept his card and I got his contact. So someone asked me like, hey, I used to have long hair.
Okay.
Before this, like I had a long hair, So
real light skin.
Real light skin with long hair, don't care. So actually, it was a female friend of mine. She on Glam Bar. She and a couple other friends of mine that I was cool with, they was looking for a hair connect. So me knowing the guy, I'm like, I got relationship. Came right in.
Resources.
Relationship.
Double R.
So I actually hit a guy. He was in California at the time, and he's like, yo, I'm gonna send you some hair. Just see what you could do. So I'm like, yo, I ain't got nothing going on. Real estate is done. I gotta figure something out. So he sent me like a $5,000 on a face card. Mind you, he ain't know me for nothing. He sent me $5,000 worth of hair. Once I received the hair, I'm sitting in the house. I'm like, yo, what am I gonna do with this? So I decided to go to salons. I went to Peter Street. Shout out to Peter Street. Everybody know Peter Street.
You know what Peter Street? If you're in Atlanta, you know Peter Street. But if you're not in Atlanta, you need to go to Peter Street.
Yes, Peter Street. Yeah, I went to Salon Ramsey, which is a heavy salon at the time. I went to 3 other salons in Atlanta that was like top salons. And that $5,000 hair went so quick. I sold everything out in like 3 days. So I turned that $5,000 to $12,000. Wow. Yeah. So I played around with the hair for a second, but after a lot of people jumping on the hair industry, Atlanta's a copycat city.
Yeah.
Like everybody want to do what everybody else do.
For sure.
So I just kind of left it alone. So I got into the car game. I started getting into long-term leasing, long-term rental. That's what they call it. So that's like my first step in the car game. So I started getting into this Italian and Russian guys. They had a lot of cars, so they would do like long-term rentals. So they kind of put me in the game.
Was it like high-end?
All high-end, all luxury. Anything over $100,000 and up. So there was a market for that at the time. A lot of people messed up their credit. A lot of people was not in credit shape they was because of the crash, because of the economy crash. So people had the money, but they didn't have a way to get their vehicles. When they went to the dealership, financing was shut down. Like the dealership was not giving out loans. So what I did is I figured out a way. I had supply and had demand. I had the cars, then I found the clientele. So I would actually make 20% markup for any vehicle that I leased out, or short-term rental. So if a car was $100,000, you gotta give me $20,000 up front to jump into that car. But it's a year lease.
That's how I first met you.
Yeah, you did.
I first met you with our boy JD.
Yeah.
It was, I forget what it was, but y'all came and y'all rented my Maybach, and then it was you pulled up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, who is this dude coming to get my Maybach, man? I ain't never seen this guy.
Yeah.
We talked, had good energy. I could tell you was a solid guy. It's crazy just from the aura. It's our first time meeting.
Off of cars. Yeah, we didn't meet. We actually kind of circled back up, but
we originally met off the cars.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was actually in the car game, and one of the things about the car game, the most valuable thing about the car game was the people I got to meet.
Yeah,
right.
Real powerful relationship. Most of the relationship that I built, even after real estate, through cars. Because cars is a lead way. It's like you connect people from cars. I met the right people, and I met the people that can afford these cars. I wasn't meeting bum broke guys. I was meeting the people that had the money.
And then you like, yo, y'all connect, and it happened. We bump each other. It's kind of like how me and you.
Yeah, our relationship built off of cars.
We built off of cars.
So imagine how many other relationships. So everybody you see that know me, they know I'm the plug. Not only that I jumped in the car game to do short-term leasing, I figured out like, while I'm going to the dealerships and buying these cars, I'm not getting paid from the dealership. So now I connected with the dealership and started getting a broker check. So they would cut me a check for $2,000, $3,000 for buying my own cars.
Where's the course, man? Because at this point, you're giving away so much game. I almost want to stop you. I want to stop you and I want to get it. Is that the reason on how you close? Because I just seen you with one of the heavy hitters in the car rental game.
MVP.
So they're like the top.
Yeah, it's Fast Forward. MVP is a $100 million company. It's my boy Ryan and Ryan. And I met Ryan and Ryan in Charlotte, North Carolina. By buying some of their cars from them. That's how I met him in Charlotte. When I was doing in Charlotte, I was hustling. Buying cars from Charlotte because it was cheaper.
Sometimes you gotta pay people just to be around them.
Of course, you gotta spend the money.
Sometimes you gotta pay people just to get in the circle. You said these are now people you getting in a business deal with that have $100 million business.
Yes.
But the way that you met them, you had to buy cars from them.
6 years ago, 7 years ago, they was not renting cars, they was selling cars. when I was going to Charlotte, I had a lot of people that was going for CIAA. So I used to tell them, hey, I got some guys that want to rent cars out. So when I was renting my cars, I only had 2-3 cars at a time over there, but they had a whole dealership. So they started renting their cars out. So actually, they got introduced to the car renting game. I'm not gonna take credit, hopefully they'll give me one day, but they started renting their cars out. And not that they started renting their cars out there, I found out a year ago, they actually bought MVP Miami, which is, they got 100 cars.
It's like the biggest, MVP Miami is like, to me, like one of the biggest exotic car rentals.
Yes.
And they in Atlanta now,
They're
right?
in Atlanta, they're in Charlotte. So you got MVP Atlanta, MVP Miami, and MVP Charlotte.
So which one are you a part of?
So actually, we did a deal for MVP Miami, Atlanta.
MVP Atlanta. Now that you're a business owner, multiple business owner here in Atlanta, I start noticing you start getting heavily involved with what's going on in the community, right?
Yeah.
You took me to the mayor event.
Yeah. How you like that event?
I love the event, right? I love the event. It was cool to just being around a different class of people.
Correct.
Right? Hearing different information that I wasn't just normally privy to.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So me walking around and hearing the passion in people's voices and hearing the change that they wanted to happen, and then you being passionate about it, because we've had different conversations, and then hearing that, saying like, yo, Atlanta needs to be safer. We need to stop people from breaking in cars. And like I was hearing it from you, I'm like, wow, there's so many different layers to people, and I was happy to see that layer.
Yeah, so of course, being an entrepreneur, a business owner, Atlanta got a lot of stuff going on. Atlanta being is the hottest, fastest growing city in the country. Got the biggest music industry, got the biggest film industry, got Coca-Cola, Microsoft right around the corner. You got the most biggest company coming in from LA or New York and DC, Virginia. They're coming to Atlanta. You know, when this is a growth, it's always a crime rate rise. I think I've got to see Kasim work. You know, I was around Kasim Reed, and you know, I've seen his first and second campaign he ran, and he's a pretty solid dude. And everything he said he was going to do, he did it. You know, he's had a crime rate under control. He made a lot of growth. He brought the movie industry to Atlanta. By the time Tyler Perry, everybody actually boomed out in the time he was in there. After the recession, Kasim Reed was one of the main reasons that Atlanta took the growth margin that it took. So I'm actually helping the campaign right now, and I endorse Kasim. And I wanted my fellow friends to come out, entrepreneur friends. So I put an event together. It's called Entrepreneurs of Atlanta. And I had all my heavy hitters entrepreneurs. You know, we got an interview coming out soon on that.
Okay.
We did pretty much.
I think I seen some behind the scenes. You had it right here at Spice House.
Yeah, we actually did. No, we actually did it at Breakfast of Barney's. We raised a tremendous amount of money. Not only did we raise money, that event was only for entrepreneurs. And in that room, which that footage is going to come out soon. I'm going to actually drop that footage so they can see how passionate Kasim was about our entrepreneurs. How passionate was, he's telling us we are the future. We the reason we give our jobs.
So again, Cash, man, I really appreciate you stepping on the Pull Up Podcast, man. You're a fellow playmaker. I appreciate you allowing me to interview you. And I want you to kind of let them know where they can find you at, your social medias, any handles. So you're telling them to reach out to you, let them know where they can find you.
Well, I appreciate you having me, my brother. I really do. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate this interview, and I think this was needed, and I'm glad it was you, my fellow playmaker. And yeah, you guys can find me at 5 stars, STARS, investments with the S. 5 Stars Investments. It's at Instagram, and then YouTube channel, Network Mogul. You know what I'm saying? It's coming soon.
All right, cool. Y'all can find me on my Instagram at Koolestnerdever. That's Koolestnerdever with a K. On all social platforms, from YouTube to Twitter to TikTok, Koolestnerdever all the way around, right? Also, make sure y'all hold my man to his word. 15 to 20 people who come
10 to 15.
10 to 15. I tried to sneak an extra 5 in, man.
I go over 10 to 15 people. I got you.
10 to 15, man. Well, again, we appreciate y'all. Another episode of Pull Up Podcast. Next episode coming soon. Let's get about it. Let's suit up, my boy. Let's suit up. Hold on. Let's get it.
Let's do it.
We out.